Hello, my name is Mary Ellen Riley, and this video is about passing the MEGA test for the school counseling in Missouri. And also the second part will be about national counseling examination. So, little about me. I am a gifted education specialist. I have teacher certifications in K-12 gifted, high school English, high school speech and drama, elementary 1 through 6, and middle school English. So I have had my way around some teacher tests. So here is how to get started with the Missouri Educator Gateway Assessments, called the MEGA, some call it the Moca. But here is the link for in the video. I'll post it on where to get more information on that Missouri school counseling test. So it tells you all about the format. It's 100 multiple choice questions. They'll give you 2 hours to complete those 100 questions. 15 minutes of the beginning will be just teaching you how the system works, how to go to the next question, how to flag it, so that when you get to the end of all 100 questions, you can go back to those questions that you flagged. You can go back to any question, really, but you can also go back to ones you flagged. So it shows you where and how to go to those test centers. The fee is $73. And the next part you're probably wondering is prepare. So let's go to prepare and review the tutorials. So that last link is really important because it's going to show us what the test framework looks like. It is 30% human development, 40% comprehensive school counseling, and 30% professional knowledge and practice. Think your ethics class would be that section. So I'll give you some sample multiple choice questions and what to do. What is nice here is this practice test. It's 3 months of access to a practice test that you can take twice. And that practice test gives you a very good idea of what the questions are like and what they're looking for. And they'll also tell you what you got wrong, and I'll give you an explanation. So I would say a month before the exam, this would be excellent. About 3 months or more before the exam, I suggest the MEGA Counselor's Secret Study Guide by Matrix. It's one of the only ones for the Missouri school counseling exam. Now, you will find a lot of school counseling exams are for Praxis, and we used to use that here in Missouri, and it's Praxis. If you want to search for those, that's great, and you could find some interesting and useful questions just to go through. But the format and those types of questions may not be on here, but some of them will be. Some types of questions, so it won't be a waste of time. But here is your go-to guide really for that. So test prep is lots of reading. The first big chunk is reading, and then at the very end is a practice test, 100 questions, so you could even time yourself of what that would look like and see how fast you go through them. I also like at the end, it gives you the correct answer and a very nice large explanation. So that's what I like about this book. So I would go through this 3 to 6 months in advance. I would take the practice test within that first month. I think that would be $30 well spent. There is a comprehensive study guide. I have not seen that, but if you are still unsure, then that might be worth going for too. Because once you take the school counseling test, pay the $73, if you do not get a passing score, you still have to pay for a new test. So that might be a good thing to do. But we are going to pass the test, and once we do, we are going to use that score to get our degree at Missouri Baptist. That's our exit exam. So once you have your degree, once you have your transcripts that are completed, then you're going to go to Missouri Department of Education, Elementary and Secondary Education. So you're going to go here, desi.mode.gov. You're going to want to log in into your certification account portal or create a certification account portal. I already got one. So I'm going to just log in here to the educator certification system. Yours will look like this once you have an account and entered all your information into that account. On the left-hand side are all the things you get to do. Maybe you've already done this before and you got your substitute certificate. So a lot of us teachers, we can get an additional certificate by passing a test, but not so for school counseling. We need to go to student services. So our school counselor certificate goes student services, and then you click on initial student services certificate, and it'll give you things you need to do, like go to college and for the application and get your transcript, and it must be provided. And you'll need a fingerprint check that must be completed. So I'll close that out. So you will have an initial certificate application. This will ask you some questions about have you been convicted? Have you been denied a professional license? Yada, yada. Down here, purpose of application, you're going to have the radio button on student services because that's the counselor certificate. And then you'll go down here to selecting the institution. That will be Missouri Baptist for me. And then you'll hit submit. The submit button will pop up once you answer the actual questions. So let's cancel that because we can't do that yet. All right. So once you've submitted that to DESE, it was pretty fast when I did it, but you never know. It depends on the timing and how many are applying to be teachers and school counselors at that time. But they try to get it done as quick as they can. They do a great job. So let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day. And don't forget, I'm going to talk about the National Counseling Exam here in a second. Okay, so the National Counseling Exam. That is what we need to become a licensed professional counselor. And we have to pass that after we graduate, after we have our transcripts. So about 6 to 12 months before you take that exam, I would suggest the Purple Book. The exam is 200 questions. The exam is 4 hours, so we are a marathon. So that's why I say 6 to 12 months in advance. So the Encyclopedia of Counseling has over 1,000 counseling questions like those on the National Counseling Exam. So they all just multiple choice, and then he gives you an explanation with the correct answer. You could go through this once, and then you could go through it again, marking pluses for I got it right, minus for I got it wrong. And then you could go through it again, just looking at those minuses. That would be my suggestion. So Purple Book, lots of great factoids and also how to study. And he tries to give you some memory techniques throughout. So he's pretty clever. The other book I have is Study Guide for the National Counselor Examination. It is by Andrew A. Helwig. It's got spiral. Love the spiral. Love, love, love spiral. It is like a giant study guide. It is, I don't know, 200 something pages of a giant study guide. What's nice is that he's got everything in bold that needs to be bolded that you have to look at. It's very easy to read, lots of double space, and everything you may need to know. It also has in the back, it has a CPCE practice exam and a NCE practice exam. I would suggest taking them both and seeing how you do, because it's roughly the same kind of information and roughly the same format. So the only thing I don't like about this book is, where is it? Anyway, he gives you the answer, but he doesn't tell you why. He just gives you the answer's A, but it doesn't say why. So if you got it wrong, you don't know why you got it wrong, you're kind of So you just get the answer and that's it. So that's what I did not like about the book, but it does have a lot of studying information. So that part I did like. And it has study skill tips because this exam has a lot of clue words that you need to pay attention to, such as all, always, usually, sometimes, and never. Those words should like ring bells and whistles and sirens in your head and be on high alert because the answer will be determined based on those very specific words because the answer has to reflect the always or the never. And if it doesn't, it's not the right answer, even though it may seem like it because it would work 99% of the time. But it says always or never. So you need to make sure you go over that. That was my biggest thing when I went through all those examination questions. So the Spiral book, another great resource is Quizlet, Quizlet.com. You can create a free account and you can make folders for NCE questions that you find or NCE that other people have made and then go through theirs. So I do those a lot. Or say you need to really review Z-scores and T-scores. That's going to be on the NCE test and you really just don't remember it. So you might want to pull a Quizlet that somebody else has made and see if some of them work, some of them don't. So I just try to get rid of them if they don't work or don't have the right answers. That's up to you. All right, so there's Quizlet. And let's see, where's my other? nationalcounselingexam.com. They have exam services where you can have online content available to you for 2 days, 7 days, 30 days. So they'll have practice tests for you. I might do this. I might do this maybe a week before the test because that test is like over $200. So this might be worth it to subscribe and go through that. Just maybe depends on how well you do on these practice tests right here. You can find some other practice tests, exam questions. You know, if you just Google it, NCE is a nationally normed test. So it's going to be in all kinds of places. So I got Pro Profs quizzes. Mometrics has some online exams. You can find quite a bit. So I just try to find those practice tests and go through those questions and see how many I can get right. And if I'm missing a bunch in maybe ethics or something, then go through that section in this book and then take them again. So that is about all you need to do. I believe they also sell flashcards for the NCE on Amazon. So that might be something that if you think you would find helpful. So that is my prep for the National Counselor exam. I would suggest once you've done that to register and pass your test. And that's that. Good luck. I know you're going to do great and you have a great day.